Hey guys, Martin here bringing a Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video, and so today we got another teaser for the worldwide celebration. It seems like, I guess they started a bit later than they did last year with these teasers, so it feels like we are potentially going to be getting a little thing every day up until something a bit more substantial, because the hint that we got today is very similar to the one from the previous day. Doesn't really show a huge amount, but has a little bit extra in it compared to the first one that has a lot of people speculating. So we are going to talk about that here in this video. I'm just going to play the first teaser. This is the one that dropped yesterday. We can see here just a boat, and there's a thing flying by in the sky in the background. We see here a beach with something flying across the sky as well, and then the night sky here. I'm not sure whether this is Japan or China. I think it might be China because of the red lanterns, but we see the thing flying across the sky there as well. So this came out yesterday, and a lot of people were speculating things like Saiyan pods, the meteor from the first Broly movie, Broly crashing to Earth for the second Broly movie, whole bunch of stuff. And then there was a big thing, we talked about it on the stream yesterday, that Minato pointed out, which I actually don't know is still the case. Let me check it right now and see. But if you went onto Twitter and you searched for Broly, just Broly, you didn't even have to put in Dokkan, one of the first things that came up, obviously there's been a bunch of stuff now, but one of the first things that comes up is this tweet. And in fact, this is the tweet from today. So this is the JP Dokkan account tweet, which we're going to look at the video in a second. But nothing here says Broly. But when I search for Broly, this tweet comes up, right? So this is the full clip if we watch it from the beginning. This is the one that was posted today. So we're leaning heavily into suspecting something Broly related. And then this is what we got today. So we get another part of the world. I think this is Japan. Something flying through the sky. Then here we have again. And then finally we have this. There's something on top of that building. And the interesting thing that they've actually added in as well is the lightning in the background. Now, the lightning in the background does have the somewhat like green tint to it. I can't get like a, there we go, I'm gonna get like a pause frame where it's actually on the screen, but it does have a sort of like green tint to it. And the funny thing is, what this reminds me of actually more than anything, rather than the pods crashing into the ground or Broly crashing to Earth at the beginning of the movie, this actually very much reminds me of the bit near the end of the movie, just before the family Kamehameha, where obviously Broly is stood on top of a mountain and charges up that massive energy ball that he then throws at Gohan and Goten, which then of course leads to the family Kamehameha. So this new teaser, I think with this bit at the end, if we just had the stuff flying through the sky, I feel like there wouldn't be any extra weight to throwing a speculation behind a particular thing. But with that whole searching for Broly thing, and then this, I feel like this very much leans towards Broly being the theme. It's interesting because this does indicate more towards like Second Coming Broly, which is funny because the only LRZ Brolys that we have in the game are all from Second Coming. So it would be kind of funny for them to do the Second Coming Broly movie again. But I think we talked about in the video I did the other day how it'd be very interesting to do different movies for part 1 and part 2. And I think this still kind of ties into what I was saying about potentially having Broly and then going into BoJack, because I think, is the BoJack movie the one after the Broly, the second Broly movie? Because obviously Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2 at the end, so I know it's after, no, it's after the first Broly movie, but obviously it's before the second Broly movie because Gohan has grown up. So it would be weird in terms of like time order to have Broly Second Coming first and then BoJack in part 2. So, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But the thing I wanted to take a look at is if we jump over to the wiki page here, this is the Broly characters that we have in the game. So, the big thing about a new LR Broly is the fact that we're very limited on like names for these characters, right? And if we get a Second Coming Broly, we're either going to get a Super Saiyan Broly, again, that transforms. So, if the Tech LR gets his EZA, it's going to be a bit of an awkward spot because they're going to have the same name. Or we could just get a straight up, starting from straight away, legendary Super Saiyan Broly. But then, of course, one of the EZAs we really want to see is this Int Broly, and they're going to have the same name. So there's almost no way around this unless they do either Broly starting out as base, and then transforming either to Super Saiyan and then to Legendary Super Saiyan as well, or have him just transform straight to Legendary Super Saiyan, or something that they haven't done for a long time that I think I mentioned in a previous video that I would very much like to see, and these are the perfect examples for them to use those kind of mechanics for these characters that have these limited names, is give him a turn 1 transformation. So just make him be base Broly, and then you start the fight, immediately he transforms into Super Saiyan Broly, and then we're good to go because he's transformed, so he links with all the other Super Saiyan Brolys and then can transform into Legendary Super Saiyan, and they'll all link together and it will be glorious. So that's what I would like to see. A new Super Saiyan Broly from movie 10 would be very interesting. I've always really liked the design of Super Saiyan Broly. I've said before in the past, like the TUR of this card is actually one of my favorite like Broly arts in the game. I just really like the normal Super Saiyan, like before pre-legendary Super Saiyan transformation. I really like this design for Broly. But yeah, new Super Saiyan Broly that transforms into legendary Super Saiyan would be cool. It just has that issue with him starting off as Super Saiyan Broly. Means he has the same name as the Broly from the anniversary as well, which is kind of annoying. But it does open up a lot of interesting possibilities. And then, of course, if we are talking about Second Coming Broly, that means that the unit that's going to be his counterpart is most likely going to be either a Gohan or some new version of the Family Kamehameha unit. Now, these guys, they got their EZA a while ago now. I mean, their EZA is almost a year old even on Global. And unfortunately, they were one of these units where even when they got their EZA, they weren't particularly like, you know, game breaking. People weren't like, oh my god, you know, they're the best LR EZA now. Nothing like that, which is a little bit disappointing. So if they made a new unit that was Gohan and Goten and like replaces this guy because they have the same name, I don't think that would be the end of the world. However, one thing I definitely think we could see is just Gohan on his own. I think a standalone Gohan from the second movie would be pretty cool. And then, of course, he could just have a unit super or have an active skill. We don't want the Family Kamehameha to be a unit super. That should be the active skill. But a unit super with Goten could be a thing of just the two of them doing the Kamehameha together. And then, of course, the Family Kamehameha as the active skill. I have always been a huge fan of that from the end of the movie. And the thing is with the Go Bros, whilst their animation is not terrible, I don't think their Family Kamehameha with like the, you know, straight on shot, like POV to the camera, I really don't like that for the Family Kamehameha. It's funny, these old units, like the trio of these guys, the Goku, AGL Gohan, and the STR Goten, they have the super attack where it's like the three of them side by side doing the Kamehameha. Because remember, in the movie, that's how that angle is. It's basically like this, but all in blue, which looks really cool, of the three of them side by side doing the Kamehameha. That's what I want to see in like top quality 2024 Dokkan like animation level. So whether it's a Gohan, whether it's a Gohan and Goten, they could get around if they really wanted them to not have the same name as this guy and just make the unit like Goku, Gohan and Goten. Either way, I think these guys are old enough now that even if they get replaced by the new unit having the same name, it's probably not the end of the world. But I would very, very much like to see if Second Coming is going to be the iteration of Broly that we are getting for the worldwide celebration. I would very much like to see a new version of the Family Kamehameha super attack. But let me know what you guys think when it comes to the second hint. Do you think that this does now lean more towards Broly? Do you think it's still very up in the air? Like I say, if it was just the things flying through the air, I would be a bit more like, you know, oh yeah, this could be pretty much anything. But I think where we see these with the lightning and this glow on top of the building, this really reminds me of the end of the second Broly movie. So let me know what you guys think. Obviously, if it's going to be Second Coming Broly, who would you like to see as the counterpart? Straight up Gohan or Family Kamehameha unit? And then, of course, what do you think part 2 will be? Because, I mean, they could go back and still do the first Broly movie, or even the first Broly movie could be part 1, Second Coming is part 2, and the teaser is just, you know, referencing Second Coming because it's Broly related in general. Or we could have Second Coming as part 1, and then part 2 could be Dragon Ball Super Broly even, and we could get a new Wrathful Broly finally. Maybe the counterpart for him could be a transforming God Vegeta, which would be awesome. Let me know all your thoughts down below. What do you think the hints are pointing towards? If it is Broly, do you think it will be both parts? What do you think part 2 will be? Let me know all your thoughts on this down below in the comments. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.